I'm here in Humboldt County, Nevada. This is Highway 140 right here behind me. Little Denio Junction is over here in this direction. This is the site of a proposed planned geothermal energy project. There's a series of hot springs out here in this valley down here called the Baltazor Hot Springs. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct, but there's water coming up out of the ground down here. That's why it looks so green. We're up here in the desert. There's not much water around these regions, but there is water down here. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I can see open water right there. Maybe a little bit more over here, and there's quite a bit more open water depending on the time of year. This is a pretty important wildlife habitat, and it's an incredibly beautiful place as well. Before I even knew these hot springs were here, every time I came through this area, I just thought it was stunning. You can actually see over here, this light is pretty spectacular on this little dry lake bed and the mountain range back there. See if I can get that exposure right there. Yeah, there we go. So you can see how spectacular it is out here. It's also incredibly beautiful because of the geology. Up here, here's a good example over on this mountain over here. There's a fault line in these rock layers that's pretty incredible, where the rock's been folded and crunched. Over here as well, you can see some of the layers in these mountains. Incredible, absolutely gorgeous, and a very important spot for wildlife because of the water, the surface water that's here, that's rare out in this part of the world. So I'm making this video because I want people to understand what's at stake. Geothermal energy development is not without its own harms. My work has been focused on lithium recently with the Thacker Pass, lithium mine, Pahimaha. But a similar critique can be applied to a lot of the other alternative energy sources. That includes geothermal. If you look at the regions in the world where there has been the most geothermal energy development, places like Iceland, Kenya, they have experienced pretty significant negative effects from this, ranging from acid rain and pollution problems because of the heavy metals and chemicals that get pumped out of that groundwater that is used to generate the energy, ranging to the habitat destruction that comes from building a vast network of pumping stations and turbines, steam turbines, and electrical transmission lines and so on. We're seeing that in some parts of East Africa in national parks, protected lands, what's supposed to be protected lands for wildlife, preserved for the future, being actually destroyed significantly for geothermal energy development. So I don't think that we can lie to ourselves and each other about these things anymore. We need to be honest and straightforward about what's going on. And too many people have bought into the bullshit, the lies that we can have our cake and eat it too, that we can have industrial generated amounts of electricity and a living planet too. And I have reviewed that evidence for a lot of years now, and I don't think that's possible. So I think if we really want to address the climate crisis, which is really a subset of the ecological crisis more broadly, we are going to have to curtail our way of life significantly. We are going to have to stop living in the way that we're living now. This wasteful, profligate, consumeristic lifestyle is going to have to change. And it's going to have to change starting with the largest and most powerful institutions on the planet, but it's going to affect all of our lives in very significant ways. This can't go on like it has been. So I'll drop a link in the comments to the Baltazor geothermal energy project. People can read the project documents, get a better sense of what's going on. If you're interested in learning more about geothermal energy, some of the examples I mentioned, and the harms that geothermal can cause, check out my book, Bright Green Lies. we have a section where we talk about these in detail and cite a bunch of sources that you can follow back and do your own research as well. All right, everybody, take it easy.